All right, everyone. I think we're live. Just a couple of minutes. I need to make sure the stream is going through. I also need to share. Copy link and coding stream 4. So this is our stream 4. Had a very few people joining my first 3 streams, so I'm already halfway through the component that we're building. So if anyone is joins us, please let me know if my audio is going through or not. All right. So before we begin, let me double confirm everything and then we can get started with our code. Today I'll try to code as much as possible and get the component done. Then I have some other ideas that I'll be doing on later on. So how my audio is going through, is it? I think it is going through. How my audio is going through, yeah, perfect. So I need to recollect my thoughts because it's been 2 days since my last code, but we've already done a lot actually. So today we'll be working on the sorting, not the sorting algorithm. It's not really as serious as that. No data structure or anything. Sorry. What we will be doing though, let's start, is as always, one of my favorite tools. Let's just head there and see where we are at. Maybe I should bump up my audio just in case. All right. So far what we have done is we have added the load more button. We are not displaying the infinite scroll. That is for later. Sorting is what we are going to work on. So sorting and the checkboxes is all that we need to finalize the fundamentals of our data table. And there onwards, it will be more like the improvement. So let's quickly get started. Audio is also going through. Perfect. I also started on Twitch, so just double checking. I really forgot what I was supposed to do. I installed a new extension today, and this has actually ruined my... man. This is actually a good resource. It has some nice articles. But they made me install their extension, and now I need to find the extension and disable it. Sorry, daily.dev, but I'm really not interested in ruining my homepage. So, where are we standing? It's not an appropriate time really to be going live for many reasons, because it's really not, whoever is my audience, it's really not the time that they are live. It's really 2:15 in the morning over here. But I had a long day and I really don't know when else can I manage time. So let's continue on building. So we need to implement sorting, and first of all, the sorting will be from the backend. And what I mean by backend, let's first not npm. I'm going to continue on with bun to run our server. And let's open up. So load more is working as it is supposed to. We need to implement the sorting, but before I do sorting, I need to style the header a little bit. Again, styling is not the main concern, but still better to have something going on for the user's feedback. Right now, I'm the only user, but still. So I can put basically two icons here, two spans here. Now, should I really just get the SVG? Maybe I should. Iconify. Iconify is a good resource for your icons. You can pretty much find all the open source icons at one place, and it's very easy to find the icons that you're looking for. I want these, but I think I would take these separately, arrow up and arrow down. So arrow up. Okay, let's just say arrow, because I want them to be from the same family. Arrow up. Form kit. Tabular remix icons. Where is this looks okay. This also looks okay. Let's just go with it. It doesn't really matter. What do we want to copy? We can go with the Vue. We can like install a Vue. But again, then that will be a new dependency for us. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the SVG. That would be the easiest way to get started. So how do I grab the SVG? There it is. Their layout has changed. If anyone has used the Iconify, they would know that it's not the same Iconify that it used to be. And this will be for up, and this will be for down. So let's also grab an arrow down with the same one. Arrow down. I forgot which one. Which one was I using? It wasn't Solar. It was, yeah. Let's go with this one of these. Maybe this one. Get the SVG and paste the SVG. Basic stuff. So this will be my up and this will be my down. Where is our app? There it is. It has ruined the CSS, but that doesn't really matter. First of all, I want all my th to have few classes. So let's just say text dash left for now. It's very strange that I'm using I'm using some inline classes and then I have my own styles on my main app. Is it? Yeah. So what I will do is I'll just take style, and let's just say language is equal to Sass. And because I want this to be headless, so at some point I will have to give it the class. But I can just simply target thead and tr. Sorry, I'm messing up the at apply background this. So I need to apply another one, and that would be yeah, it persists so far. No, it doesn't, does it? We have some issues because we also, okay, this is for tbody, that's okay. Thead, tr, and th it should be. Great. And for my, this is interesting how I would like to go about styling it. I'm not too sure if this is even a good practice or not. But I'll just wrap it in a div so it's easy for me to do that. and my auto formatting should work, but unfortunately it's not. But again, let's not auto format right now. Okay, it has already done, so I can't do much about it. So there I have my, again, I don't like SVGs for these reasons. So what I can do really is just create a new component, and this will be icon.view. Let's just say sort icon dot view. It shouldn't be dash again if anyone is noticing it. It's just because I want to avoid the ESLint for now, and then I will fix this naming. Again, see, this just makes it a lot messy. So normally I wouldn't do icon like this, but again, when I think about this component, it has to be like an open source reusable component. So for those reasons, I want to not go out of the way and make it more, like it has to be kind of a standalone component. So for those reasons, I'm not too sure how I would go about it, but let's say so language is equal to TS, and I'll just make this component which will just serve two icons, and I can just define props. And this is going to be icon, and icon is going to be either up or down, or I don't need none, just up or down. And then I also want to define my default with defaults. The with defaults takes the first parameter, this one, and the second one will be icon. By default, let's say up, but I don't think we need the default one, because if I call the icon, I'll have to pass it the icon. So we can go with that for sure. Okay, just double checking. Do I have anyone on stream? Oh, Laser, good to see you again. Is it VS Code you're using? Sorry, I can't. Zoro. Yeah, this is VS Code that I'm using. By the way, welcome to the stream, both of you. Good to see you back, Laser. Today I'm just doing some basic stuff, just trying to figure out the functionality will be interesting one. It will be very interesting one for you, actually, particularly Laser, to see how the sorting will work, not just only on the front end, but also with the API. So that is going to be interesting, but this right now I'm just trying to figure out how to display these icons without blotting my component. So I'm defining a component which only will serve me two icons, which ideally shouldn't be the case. But again, I don't want to add any dependency for my icons, because this component then will fail. So let's go to template, and it's going to be a very simple logic. We're gonna, let's say, create a div, or we could also go with a span, and we're gonna say span. I'll just remove that div actually. We if, in fact, let's just paste our span from there. So if icon is equal to up, then we display this icon. And if it is down, or I could just simply say we else here, because I know TypeScript won't let me do anything else. So we else, my auto formatting, I'll fix it actually, because it's really bugging me now. So otherwise, I'll display the other icon, which is this one. Let's just grab the SVG and paste it in our sorting icons. The formatting can be tricky sometimes with prettier, but it's good that it's not wrapping it. That is to avoid the white space, which used to bug me when I was new to it. But now I understand that why it is this way. Anyways, we have the icon up and then we else statement. And now if everything is okay, then we should be able to use it. So I'm going to say import sort icon from sort icon. And then I can use my sort icons here. Sort dash icon. And icon is equal to up and icon is equal to down. So now our HTML is pretty clear, not HTML, but our template is pretty clear, and we are still rendering the icons. So next step is to style these. So again, I think I can further optimize this one. If I could just apply it on the SVG itself, which since it's Vue 3, so it should work. We can have multiple childs as opposed to Vue 2 where you could only have one child. Where is my span? Okay, let's just say we else onto SVG. Remove the span from here and remove the span from here as well. And what's the issue now? So our SVG, yeah, got sorted. Technically it should work. Illegal. My SVG. Yeah, I see. It would probably not let me. So let's just say span and wrap all of them in a span. Still some issues. Why would there be? Illegal tag, illegal /in tags. Wave icon is equal to up. Because of my formatting, I still don't really know what's going on here. Okay, let's just leave it as it was. Because that way, at least it would be working. And then we can refactor it later on. This is going to be a very boring session. This particularly these few minutes. So here I can just say, let's give it a span. Wrap those in a div. Wrap these in a div as well. Now that's not really the layout that I would love to have, but I need it. Items dash center. So I've got items dash center. I also want this to be flex. And again, items dash center, gap dash, let's just say 1 for now. Maybe not even 1. Let's just leave the gap altogether. Maybe I do need a gap actually. So let's just say gap 2 pixels. Not really, not so ideal, but anyways, it serves the purpose somehow. I hate working with HTML sometime. So let's just give it give this one a text of large. This remains as it is, but I do want this one to have some gap So gap 1 would mean a 4 pixels gap there. But again, these icons, I think I'll need to change it because they don't really look as good as they should be. Or maybe it's the div which is causing the issue. I don't want to spend too much time on the icons, but I think I'll have to. So yeah, let's just get this icon. Copy the SVG. This one is down, so let's just replace it with our down icon. Such a tricky thing just to have your icons working. And then I can go with up, and this has to be this one. Again, why does it has 24 pixels box? Maybe I can fix that, but maybe I can fix that later. It would be just a waste of time at the moment. If everything is okay, our app should still be working. Icons are different, but anyways. So next thing we need to do is we need to give some classes on this one. So this will be text dash gray dash, let's say 400 by default. Or maybe I can just give the parent the class, and then on child I will change it. Text dash gray 400. And then I'll need to add a condition here. And my condition will be if the column is sortable. So if column dot sortable, then it will allow the sorting. Otherwise, it won't show. So right now, all our columns are sortable. So I'll go back to my app, and let's just say the stock is not sortable. So it's not sortable anymore. Another thing that I can say is my fonts are very bad. But again, design is not really the theme or the domain of this tutorial. So let's just leave that for now as they are and focus on the functionality. So when I click on my column, then I want my column to be able to sort. That's the general idea. So let's go back. Now how that will work. Now here I will need to maintain some state. So, and that state has to be maintained in a way that when I make the API call to the backend to do the sorting, it is linked with that. And that's not as easy as it seems. So I'll have to do that quickly. I need my, just a second, I need something. I had to turn on my air conditioner because it's very hot here. We have 4 people watching, 2 on CodeDev, 1 on Facebook. Little happiness, right? Anyways, my mic turned off. How did it happen? Is it working now? I have to change. Okay, it should be better now. All right, so when I click on my arrow, in fact, what I can do is let me just copy all of it, put it here. Okay, like this. Now I need my APIs right here. So that's my API server. And imagine that there is more data to be loaded. So when a user clicks on this one, the request will go to my, before the request goes to my API server, let's select all of it and put it a little further down. Can I just remove all of you for the sake of clarity? Your mic is unplugged. Is it working now? I hope it is working. Maybe I can turn up my volume and see. Okay, yeah. All right. Anyways. Okay, all right. Let's say when we click on this one, and yeah, let me just change the color. Okay. Before I figure out, I make the request to my endpoint. Let's assume that I have my front end logic somewhere here. So let's put a box here. And this white is still our front end. Let's fill it in. Fill it with a bit of white. Maybe not. But anyways, this is our front end. And what it will do is it will see if there is more data to be fetched, right? In that case, I'm going to make API call. Otherwise, sort on front end. This is a very safe way to do, particularly the API design that we have. Thank you for the confirmation. So if there is more data to be fetched from the API, then we'll make the call to the API in this first condition and get the data and append the data at the very end of this table, right? And so whatever data comes back in, sorry, it will be, it's not load more, it's sorting. So whatever data comes back, it will just, it will then shuffle the data in that order. Otherwise, we can safely make our, we can safely just do the shuffling on the front end, right? So in that case, we don't go to the back end. Let's make our back end a bit red. So now in this scenario, I need to manage a few states. And the first state will be my, let's just say we have filters. And there is another thing, interesting one, that at one time, you can only sort by one column. So if I sort by name, then the only sorting will be applied on the name, because you cannot have two columns. Can that be possible? I don't think so. So let's keep it simple. When you sort one column, only one column is sorted. So we need sort by. So for example, sort by name. And then we need the sort order. and this will be either ascending order or descending order. And this is what we are going to send to the server, and then server will sort the data and then come back to us. So to keep things simple, first of all, there are a couple of things. In our data table, if you remember, we have a define model here, which basically is a prop and event, which you can just define with the model. So this resource. So normally you wouldn't change the resource in the child component, but since it's a model, it's a two-way binding. We can change the resource in this component. And that's the beauty of this component as opposed to many other data tables that you use, because you'll have to then do the logic in the parent component, and then you'll have to replicate that logic in pretty much every component where you call the data table. So you have 10 pages where you use the data table. You'll have to use the sorting logic or fetching the data again and again in all of them. And that's what we're trying to avoid by building this kind of a smart data table. So I'm a bit lost actually. But anyways, let's get started. Let's just make sure that this is okay. Let's just do it at the very end so we are clear of what we are doing. So first of all, I need some filter state. So I'll say sort by, and const sort by is going to be a ref. You can use an object and a reactive object, and you sort by and sort direction. Sort direction. So by default, sort by is going to be null, and sort direction is, let's say sort direction is also null. I might change this logic later on. And let's define the type for it. It's not a simple ref. It can be either null or it can be one of the columns. Now, how do I know it is one of the columns? So I have the columns, and I have the column dot key. So for now, let's just say string. But well, let's not say string actually. Let's say columns. In fact, let's just define a type here. Const type sort table sort keys, or maybe column keys is equal to key of type of no. It is going to be equal to type of column number key. No, it won't work, will it? Sorry. Why am I over relying on Copilot? This will be an interesting logic to build here, actually. So I have my columns here, right? But the type of column, okay, I see. But again, the columns are provided to the component on the runtime, right? So we cannot technically know in TypeScript the list of columns because it is always provided on the runtime. Now, this is one thing that I wish I could do. TypeScript is good and all, but there is no runtime type safety, which sometimes you'd love to have, but that's not really possible. So for now, let's just say string. And then we can use sod to have the runtime type safety. But again, I will probably not use sod in this series. I might as well, but I will probably not, because that's something that really makes your life a lot easier if you want to have the type safety in this particular scenario where, ideally, for example, if I give it these columns, it should provide me type safety on these, like name, category, and all. So I can't do that unless I use sort. But again, sort may not also work. It's because it's really just the runtime thing that it is. So we have sort by, then you have sort direction. This one we know it can either be null or it can be ascending order, or it can be descending order. So that's nice that we can at least now know, what the sort direction will be. So, and then we are going to go to our th, and we'll say, should I have the sorting only on the on these icons, or wherever you click, it should sort? Actually, wherever you click, it should be able to sort it. So for those, for that, I'll have to go all the way to my th, and I'll have to say, first of all, let's give it a hover class. Again, I'm mixing my classes in the CSS section and also in the inline. So, so let's say hover background gray 300. Yeah. Okay, let's just keep it for now. And let's just also say cursor pointer. What else now? So now if I click on at click is equal to set sort, and this is going to take the column. All right. And let's just define const set sort is equal to a method which takes the column. I'm not too sure if Copilot did it well, but let's read what is the suggestion. So it takes the column, and if the column is not sortable, then we are not going to do anything. That's correct. And if sort by dot value is equal to column, so that means the existing sort column that is active is same as the new column that we are giving it, then sort direction is going to be the opposite of that, which is very nice actually. The Copilot has really pulled it off. So then we are going to just change the direction of sort. Otherwise, sort by dot value, this one, will be equal to column dot key. The column dot key can be undefined, so that is the only reason it's giving us an error. So we can just add another condition here. If column dot sortable or is not column dot key, then we are going to not do anything, because for the sorting we need the key of the column to give it to the backend. And the sort direction by default will be ascending order. Okay, so far looks good. And if everything is okay, we should be able to see this little, in fact, let's just make it visual instead of going into the view tool and trying to look up for the change. So what are we going to do here? We're going to or we can just display one of these icons, or maybe no. Let's just say we're going to bind the class text dash gray dash, let's say 700. I want to make it a bit bold when it is hovered. So how would that work? So we are going to say let's just use the, yeah, let's do it this way. It will be easy for me to know what I'm doing. So we're going to say if sort, or let's just make I think I'll just go with the computed property const active column is equal to No, not that. I'm going to use computed. Um, columns.find column.key is equal to sort by dot value. Yeah, that's probably what it is, but it's why is columns dot value? It should be, isn't it? Columns dot value. Where's my columns? Cannot find name columns. Columns. Oh, sorry. It won't access it unless I say props dot. So define props const. Props is equal to that. And then I can say props dot columns dot find column. Column dot key is equal to that. So now we know which column is active right now. So and then we can put the logic here. Active column is equal to, or let's do it on key and not the object itself. That can be misleading sometimes. So if active column is equal dot key is equal to column dot key, okay, this could be possibly undefined, right? So let's say this way. Optional chaining would help us here. So effective column dot key is equal to column dot key. Then let's just wrap it here. Yeah, either way it will work. So effective column dot key is equal to column dot key. We don't need an if statement here actually. I'm doing it at the very wrong place. So let me just take this one out here. It was actually if column dot sortable. Sorry for that. And here I can put my logic. Effective column dot key is equal to column dot key, and active column and sort direction is equals to why is it not giving me suggestion here? Where is sort direction? Yeah, ideally it should give me, like right here, it should let me know what are my options, which it's not. Okay, let's say ascending order. Sorry, if it's descending order, then it will be upwards, right? But let's put something wrong. Yeah, that works, but it's just not giving me the suggestion for some reason. So this is TypeScript. If I give it, instead of ascending or descending order, it's just going to yell at me. Hello, what are you working on? Okay. So I have the first. Thank you so much for your message. You're my first person from Twitch. Good to have some Twitch audience here. So I'm just doing a side little Vue component because I was struggling to find a Vue component for data tables. So I'm building a data table component for Vue that in this particular case consumes the API from a Laravel from a Laravel API in a particular format. And the format I can tell you is right here. So which takes the API in this format and then lets me load more data, which we have already implemented on the data table. And second, we should be able to like sort it, which is what I'm working on right now. And then there will be some checkboxes so we can select particular rows and perform some action on that. So that's the general agenda. And this is basically my fourth stream already. And this is what we have built so far. So our load more is already functional. The beauty lies in the way this component is being used. So all I'm doing is basically just calling a data table component, passing it a Laravel resource or Laravel response from backend. If you could see, it's in TypeScript, so you'd probably get the idea. And then I'm just passing it the columns in the data, and rest is on the data table. The load more, the sorting, and all. everything will be done by the data table. And then just to have more control how the rows will be displayed, I can take the data from the data table and then just loop over them and display it. So that's the little app that we're building. How do you think about headless table libraries? Maybe Vue has some. Okay, I love headless. I would really want to use the what is this 10 stack table. I was surprised to see 10 stack doing so much for Vue as well. It's been one of the leading um, React kind of third party libraries. I've seen people use 10 stack router instead of React router, and they're doing a lot of crazy stuff in the React ecosystem. But they have a headless table, which is pretty powerful. Um, but the background of why I'm not using any of this is because I the use case is very specific. I'm building it for general public. It's going to be an open source, but we have already implemented like hundreds of table in one of my project that I'm working on, and that uses the Laravel API. And in every page where we are using these tables, well, we started it back in 2020, so at that time I don't think 10 stack was there. And all the other tables, for example, AG grid. If I go to AG grid, again, the AG grid is like it's a massive table. Let me get back there. Maybe Vue has some analogs. Maybe most of the cases UI is different, but logic is same. True. I mean, you can pretty much take any data table, any of these, and just turn it into whatever you want. But I feel like this is way too much. Like a data table like this would be like way too much for me. If you see the pricing, it's pretty expensive for an enterprise. It's like per developer you're paying 1198. Of course, they're offering a lot of features, but 80% of those features or 90% of those features, they had no use case for me. So for me, it's an excuse to make more videos and like to go live stream, which I would love to do more of it. It's good, but very hard to learn. Yeah, it's very hard to learn because they have a ton of features. So if I was building, let's say, a trading website, with all these tables, then I would probably go with something like AG Grid. But for a normal data table, I think Vue still lacks a lot. Thanks to these guys, the 10 stack table, they have pulled out a very good product actually. But unfortunately, it's still not really what I want because again, it has a lot of code which I don't really want to put into my project. And if you know of Shad CNUI, Shad CNUI also uses 10 stack as their data table. Let me search for Shad CNUI. This is interesting because the day I started streaming, I looked up for other resources, other options that are also open source. Let's go to the data table, and if you look at their code, see they're using 10 stack tables. So that was quite interesting that even Shadcn is using them. So again, that means these tables are good. They have the sorting and all. But again, these sortings are usually on the front end. I think that you can hook up into the event and then make the API request and all. But what I'm building is it's going to be like a super simple solution for people who are using a Laravel backend and who just need a data table with these basic features, and then the ability to add on top of that if you want. That's what I want to build. But again, I'm just in the early days and I don't really know if I will get there, but I'm pretty sure I will because again, the same table which I'm building, it's already working in one of my old projects on Vue 2 rather. So yeah, either way, if it works or not, at least I'm building something for myself in my free time. But again, thanks for joining. I'm very bad at pronouncing names, so I won't give it a try. But okay, perfect. Thank you. But again, the table is more of an excuse for me. I really just want to get started with live streaming because I think this is something that I really love to do. I don't really care if anyone is watching me or not. but I would like to just stream myself while I code, because it's not easy to code when you're in public, um, and it can get you nervous and all. But again, I'm just trying to be as normal as I am, and sometimes I'm streaming and I just forget that I'm streaming. But happy to meet you, and happy to meet anyone who joins this stream. I met 3 or 4 other people here, and that's that's very good. um, so active table dot key is equal to descending order. That should do the job, I hope. Again, I lost where I was, so let's just try. We have any errors in console? No. So what's going on here? Set sort. Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, okay. I'm not adding any class here. So if this is true, then I'm going to say text dash gray dash say 700, just to make it a bit bold. Otherwise, nothing. So let's just copy this one and paste it here. Reload. Oh yeah, it does break. It doesn't work. You put value in filter in console in browser, you will not see the error messages. You put the value in filter in console. Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. Thanks for the help. Oh, this one is actually I don't want to change it. It won't do anything. This is because I'm using a Vue 2 project, and on Vue 2 I'm using Pinia. And for some reason the Vue dev tool it throws the error because it's not really compatible with Vue 2 for some particular reasons. So I'm just tired of seeing that message. So that's why this particular file, I just filter it out so I don't get to see this message. But again, there is no error actually. It's working as it is supposed to be. The only thing is I just need to go back to my code and focus on my code for a bit. Yeah. But yeah, that won't do anything. But anyways, because I'm just writing this logic and haven't even tested it yet. So, oh, sorry, this should be ascending order. That's the issue. So now it should work. Now we have the descending order, ascending order. Again, we haven't done the filtering yet. We're just designing it. So that works. And if I do consult my Vue dev tool, where is my Vue dev tool? Oh, actually, I'm using this new Vue dev tool, which I haven't used before. So let's say get started. Where is my components? This one, data table, and sort by and sort direction is null. And now my sort by is name, and my sort direction is ascending order. And now my sort direction is descending order. Now my sort by is category, and this is nice actually. I've used this one in Vue in Nuxt.js, but I haven't used it in Vue. So I was happy to see this dev tool just coming through from Nuxt to Vue, and this is not sortable. So we get the point. Awesome. So now the thing is, I don't want to do the filtering. That's one mistake that I made in the other data table that I created for the other project a few years ago. I was doing the filtering on the front end, and while you're developing, you don't really care. And once you go into the production, then you're like, I need to completely rewrite the logic, because, for example, in this case, if I try to do the filtering on the front end, do the sorting on the front end. It will sort the data that we have, but there is more data to be fetched. And how can you tell how much data you have? Let's say you're just displaying 100 rows and you have 1,000,000 rows. The sorting just will only be on the data that you have already fetched. So this is why, what I'm trying to do is to make this sorting dynamic. So a hybrid sorting, which means that I will sort first on the back end, but if we have fetched all the data, then we will do it on the front end. Hello there. I'm so sorry. I don't want to pronounce name because I've done a mistake a couple of times, and I feel embarrassed about it. So good to have you, brother. Whoever you are, welcome to the stream. I'm getting to meet a lot of new people, by the way, and I'm pretty sure if I keep streaming for long enough, then eventually I'll have a good amount of audience, and I'll never forget you guys who joined me right at the start. We are working in Vue, by the way, Vue and TypeScript, and we're trying to build a data table component, which I plan to do open source once it is ready. We are still like far um, from the end product, but the stream is just for the sake of me going, just getting used to of being live, and that's pretty much all. So um, now that we have these two values changing the data sort by and sort direction, um, I can really make the call to to the API, right? Or I can provide this data back to my parent component and tell the parent component to do the sorting. This is what I used to do, and this is what you would normally do, because there is also the concern of there's also the concern of the data flow. In Vue, data flows just one way from parent to child, and you are not supposed to modify data in child component. Now that problem is solved using the two-way data binding, using the V model, which is a little expensive, but it does the trick. And that is exactly what we are doing here. This is something new in Vue 3.4. You can define multiple models. So we are defining our model on resource, and instead of passing the resource as a prop, I am just basically doing the V model, and then it takes that model as resource and does all the things. So basically now I can modify my resource, and the effect will also be in the parent component. And that's what I will try to do. Again, it might mess up the view reactivity, but I would rather go that route. So let's do it. Actually, I need to plug in my charger. I'm almost out of battery from my laptop, from my Mac actually. So just a couple of minutes and I'll be back. I should actually put my stream just on a short break. So don't leave. I will be back in just under a minute. All right, we are back. So all right, I think I'm back, but I had a couple of guys who left already, I believe. What Mac do you use? I'm using MacBook Air M1, M2 rather. It's just an Air M2. That's all. It's very light. It's very easy to carry, which is the reason I just love it, because most of the time I'm working from the cafes. So um, I really love something that I can just take away anywhere. And that is one of the reasons I've abandoned the usage of more than one screens. So I'm just using one screen, one Mac. That's all. Very minimal setup. What is merge props? When did I import it? Let's just take this away. So now I can do is I can now the question is how can in my data table component I can request the API to give me new data with the sorting. Because again, normally you would emit an event to the parent component, and then parent component knows where he loaded the data from, because he when we mounted on mounted, we loaded the data from this API. So one way is to use the traditional way. The other one, which in this particular case I think I will be able to pull off, is if you look at the data that my Vue component has, um, it has the products, right? Sorry, my data table. Sorry, my data table has the resource, and it has the path to the resource, which is this one. So technically, this is the endpoint which provides us this data. So all I need to do is to call this endpoint. This approach would work, but this approach could also fail if my parent component has another component which has filters, and now I won't be able to append those filters in. But better implement it this way, and then we will see where we go from there. Then we will try to change. Um so we have it in the path. That's what we know. um Another thing the parent component can do is it can give it more like another prop of where to fetch the data from and all. um but again, that's really not the way I intend to do it. So hmm, very interesting situation. Let's just do it this way. Okay, let's just make a method, and let's just call it fetch data. Const fetch data, um, and let's just not do any of it. And if is not resource.value.path, which it will always have actually, then we will return, but I think we'll always have path. So I can assume that the path will be there. So then I can just try to const data is equal to await axios.get. And where is the URL? We all know the URL is inside my resource. Resource.value.path. So this is where I'm getting the data from. And additionally, I'm going to pass it two parameters, which it already hints me that it oh, sorry, my microphone again went off. That's why I probably need another screen. But anyways, so when do I know that these values have changed? That I would only know if, for that I can just watch. So I'll say watch. Let me also import watch. All right. And let's just watch for, instead of sort by dot value, I'll have to watch them separately. Maybe I'll just do that later. Where is watch again? Sorry. And then I can say fetch data, and I can watch also my sort direction. I'm not too sure how I can watch both of them together. So let's just do it this way first. So we have sort by and sort direction. So if any of these refs changes, in that case, I will make the call to fetch data. All right. And this should hopefully at least make the call. Okay, some issues with the mic again. What is the? Is it working now? Can you confirm, please? Um, Let me double check. Um, is it working? Yeah, it is working. Anyways, thanks for the lead. Yeah, I think something is wrong with my cable. I'll have to probably replace it because if I move too much, it does sometimes just disconnect. So, so if everything is okay, we should be able to making some calls to the backend. Let's go to fetch, reload. We're not making calls to backend. That is clear. So what is going wrong here? So let's say console.log. We are here. We are here. That's my secret debugging spell. So let's do it. Okay. We're not even calling this for some reason. Okay, I think I don't really need to give it a function because it's just a ref. I still don't really know how watch works really. So watch can take a ref. Okay, I see. All right. I think I just don't need to do it. You can do that if it's a function or it's an object. Then you use a method basically which return. So this should probably help us. Yeah, we are here, and we are here a couple of times. Okay, let's do it again. But again, there is an issue, which is that I'll probably have to wrap it. Yeah, wrap it in one object. Otherwise, I'll be making two calls for the first time. So now at least we are making call to the backend, and we have sort by and the sort direction. Perfect. And now in my backend, I can go and do a bit of logic. I'll do that quickly. So my product controller, just double checking. I think your stream lags. Sometimes it does not show up chat. Sometimes you log on video, but I guess it's fine at the start. Keep doing good work. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. I'll probably track my stream again because I was going through my stream after watching the stream, after doing the stream. Um, it seemed okay. Maybe my internet is it's also the correct one. But anyways, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate. Um, any person who I meet here, I know it's not very entertaining to watch a coding stream, but still you guys come over and watch, which is very good. So I'm really happy for that. So product with category, I'll need to do some logic here. Instead of just returning, I can just say it's a query, and let's build the query. Why is it giving me error? Okay, oh sorry, query is equal to product with category, and query when request has okay, let me just make them variables so that way it's sometimes easy for me. So I can just say sort by is equal to requests, or maybe I should just take a request instance here. Request, and then I can say normally the way that I do is sort by. Not really. Shouldn't it be just request sort by? It should give me sort by, right? And sort order or sort direction. Sort direction. And let's just dd sort by and sort direction, and let's see if it works. So reload, we should get the error here. Preview. Is it request input? Like, do I have to? Oh, sorry. It has to be query, because it's a query. It's not a. It's not really a simple parameter. So I can do this query sort by sort direction, and now hopefully it will give me. Okay, let's not do that here. Let's do it again. How do I do it? Let's just say this way. Go to this, and then we can say hash sort by is equal to XYZ. Fixing the basic issues. And now dd, yeah, XYZ, and sort. One of them is sort direction. Let's just also provide it sort direction. And sort direction is equal to 1, 2, 3. Unclosed. Which line is not closed? Okay, that was my silly mistake. But anyways, that's working. That working means I can just return query paginate, and that works. So here, yeah, now my app should load, and if I try to do it, it goes through. And now I can go ahead and write my logic for sorting. So let's just say query when sort by, and then we're going to use the sort direction in sort by, and we'll say query sort by, which is always going to be the same column. So that we have to maintain. And sort direction is also standard ascending order or descending order. That should help us. And it should do the magic. It should do the magic, shouldn't it? But it's not doing the magic. It's doing the magic, but you don't see it because we are not. So now you see the first one is we. And on the last request, the first one was also we. Yeah, different, definitely different. So now all I need to do, because I'm getting the data, I just need to replace this data with my resource dot value, and it will do the magic now. Look at it. Perfect. Now we are sorting the data from the back end, not even on the front end. And in terms of category, it's not working. This won't work because we are saying, because it's not really a parent relationship. It's a child relation. It's a relationship constraint, which is not really a front end issue, a back end issue. So your API has to implode the dot syntax. If you look at it in the payload, if I look at if I do the category now, category.name, as you can see. So category.name, it has to be exploded, and the backend should also sanitize the data to make sure that all these data is actually valid, and all those logic. But that's a backend logic, not a front end, which I will definitely do. But if you try any of these ones, see the price is also sorting. The stock stock. We'll have to make the stock sortable. So let's just say sortable true. See, we have the descending order and we have the ascending order, and both are working. Huh, that's great. How long have I been streaming? Almost more than an hour. So the sorting is somewhat working. The only thing that's not working in the sorting is our logic on the backend. So let's try to do it, or maybe not today. On the backend, basically, if the sort key has a dot in it, that means we'll have to look for that relationship. So we'll take the first part of dot and we will look for that relationship. So we'll have to also map the relationship of category with the categories relationship, and then we'll do that. But that, I think, is another topic and not really a Vue thing anyway. So we'll do that later. So I think that's it from today's stream. I'm pretty satisfied that at least I was able to implement the basic sorting on the data table. And you will, if I give away this code, you'll probably realize how clean and how beautiful it is, because all you have is the data table, and it handles the sorting, it handles everything else. Otherwise you'll have like 10 props and 10 events that you'll be listening to, and a lot of code in your parent component that you'll be doing just to handle this small little case. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, whoever joined me today. I'll probably leave it now, and maybe see you guys on another day. All right.